Hi. Okay, we're gonna do accelerations on this Tchaikovsky. Okay, we're gonna start with section E, that one run, that really high run at section E, the very first line of it, and we're gonna do that one separately from the rest of E because it's so hard. Okay, so we're gonna work backwards on this. We're gonna start at the end of the run, and we're going to work our way back. So what I mean, let's see if I can show you this. We're going to start here in this third and fourth beat. Wait, I think, nope, sorry. The second beat of this measure, okay? So at this point, you should be in third position. And I gave you the new fingering, which I've written in here, but I don't know if you can see that because I had to scribble it in there. There's so much ink on the page, but basically to stay in third position, you're going to play the C flat with fourth finger in third position, A flat with your second finger, and then the F natural you're going to play with your one and extended one, and just reach back until you can hit this open D, and you can release it all and come down to first position and play this, okay? Sort of first position-ish. Okay, so we're going to start here in beat 2 and work this, and then we'll go back and add some of this to that, okay? So for sure, make sure you're ready to do this fingering. If you're not, you know, I'm going to demonstrate it, then pause it, work on it before you can do any accelerations with this fingering, okay? So I know I had given you a different fingering, but the faster I went on it, the more it didn't work. So, and this one I think works much better. So even if it causes you a little bit of heartache to switch over, I think it'll help you get through it better. So, okay, here we go. So beat 2, I'm gonna do it slowly for you so you can see it. So that first note is your second finger, E flat. Trying to tilt so that you can see my fingers. Let's see if I can do that for you one more time. It feels very much like third position. It's just flat third position. So my first finger is on D flat. Okay, and then they're all a whole step apart, and the fourth finger touches. So when we go over to the D string to play that C flat, it feels like a regular 4 so long as your hand is in this flat position, this flat third position, okay? I know that's hard. Hopefully it's feeling a little better to you as you've been working on this. So one more time slowly. Reach back. And then these 3 just touch each other. So basically I'm trying to find the B flat. That's about, well, the B flat and the A really. Those are normal fingers. We're playing B flat and A, regular A, okay? And then you have a C flat. So basically they all 3 touch. Just put them together, and it's just for a minute, and sort of let your 1 and 2 be the guide for the 3, okay? You just put them together and then put 3 next to it, sandwich it in there. So okay, all right, so let's drill through this a little bit now with a little bit more tempo. Okay, and I'm gonna actually put on a tempo, which we'll see how that goes on a video. I mean, listening to a metronome again and again and again can be a little bit annoying, so it probably would be on a video, but we kind of need it to speed up well and know that we're actually getting it. I have a tickle, so I'm having some tea. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is 55. Okay, so this is very slow, but we're gonna jump it up a little bit. I know you're working on it, but let's just get it together at a slow tempo, and then we'll jump it up Okay, same spot. 1 E and a. It's actually not beat 1. 2 E and a, 3 E and a. Ba 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 bum. Ready, go. That was a little quick. Okay, so if you're having any trouble with this, you can always do something like this. Just do that a few times until then you can do. All right, maybe add another note. I just did a little vibrato, but you really shouldn't because there's not actually time for vibrato. It's because I stopped on that note, but I really shouldn't, and so don't bother on that actually. All right, so now let's go one more note. So you'll add, ready, go. Okay, again, ready, go. Now, I'm sort of not slowing down. This is a process. You would probably pause here and work this out a little bit, okay? And then if you're having trouble getting down to first position, you might do something like this. Okay? And keep building notes. So if you need to pause there, do that. But now I'm going to go ahead and do the acceleration. So we'll add this back. Da, 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 ba, ba, bum. Ready, 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 go. Good. Ready, ready, go. Okay. Now, do that a few more times. That was at 55, so grab your metronome and do that a few more times if you'd like to, okay? If you're ready to back it up, then we're gonna start to back it up now. So, okay, so how to begin here? Okay, I'm trying to find a nice midway point, but there's not really a great place in the middle to sort of connect it. It's almost like we have to go back to the pickup to E. So basically one measure before E. I'd like to start in the middle. How can I do that with you? I think we'll do that, okay? So we're gonna start right at E. We'll go slowly because we kind of need to get our hand up there, okay? So if you start right at E on those first 2 eighth notes, which is really before the fast part. So it's the fast part that I wanna work on, which is starting in beat 2 of that first measure of E, okay? But we have to get our hand up there. So, we've got our 1 on D flat. It's actually also C sharp. You could think of it that way. And remember that, you know, if you're in regular third position, we need C sharp a lot. Okay. C sharp or D flat, whichever way, whatever key you're in, is right here where the violin meets the neck. Okay. And so, you know, I don't have any tapes on here, but I know where that one is, right? So it helps me when I'm trying to find it with my third finger in third position, but it's also helpful when I'm trying to shift up and I need to find that note with a different finger. Maybe it's a 2 that I need to find with that finger. In this case, it's a 1. So we need our 1 right about there. It's usually the same on most violins, right around this area. So this is C sharp, and in this case, because of this key, it's D flat. So your 1 is on D flat, your 2 then is on E flat, okay? And those 2 notes are a whole step apart. You know, I was doing this with, with another student, it matches very much the third position. The flat third position is very similar in fingering to the one that we do up high. So let's talk about that. Okay, so you've got, if we start on G flat. So G flat in first position on the D string, okay, is F sharp, right? So here's that F sharp. I'm going to put my 1 there, and that's our G flat. That's kind of weird. You can also find that by going to just regular G, your third position, and then coming back a half step. So that really depends on what makes more sense to you, okay? So there's your G flat. You can do it that way. So here's G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat. So this fingering is very comfortable for us. You've got a whole step from 1 to 2, whole step from 2 to 3, and then 3 and 4 touch, okay? And then when we go to the A string, it's the same thing. So this feels very much as if we had just moved our 1 to regular third position with the 1 on G. This is usually the fingering that we start off with. So this fingering is super comfortable for us actually. It's just our brains that are confused because we're going to move everything back a half step. But it's the same finger pattern. Okay, so let's just go through that one more time. G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F, and then G flat. And remember, G flat is the same thing as F sharp. And there we are right at this line. There it is, because that would normally be your sharp 3. I hope that makes sense. So mess around with that a little bit if you'd like to. But now let's go to the upper octaves. So right here where that G flat is, we're going to put our 1 there. Again, it's where that line meets the neck. It's that sharp 3, F sharp, but in this case it's G flat. So G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F, G flat. Okay? So it is the same fingering. The only difference is everything is super close together. So the 2 that touch, the 3 and 4, once again, they are super close together. And you know, your whole step is this big. They're just not touching. So just a little space between them will do it. Okay? So it's just a little smaller, but it's the same fingering. So let's play that one more time. G flat, A flat, okay? And if you wanted to, then come on back down. I would suggest to practice that for this run in particular, because when you come back down, as you come down, you're up here in this position right where we were. You're playing notes here, and then you come right to flat third position, and you play those notes there, and then you're out. So you're really, and it's very much like a scale. So it would not hurt us to just play. Shift there. Okay, and to just speed that up and get really comfortable with that. When you can do that, no problem, then going through these notes won't seem so bad. Okay, so let's go up here to E. So we've got our 1 on that D flat, okay? And then 2, we're gonna go ahead and prepare and put our 2 down because the first note is E flat. So here's your E flat, G flat. First 2 notes. Now, the only difference between that scale that we did and this run of notes is that the very first D you encounter is natural. So this one right here, they're telling you it's higher. So you're going to tuck it behind your 2 for just a second, and then you're going to move it back. So, and now it's back. So one more time. Okay, and then everything else is the same. So now I'm going to play through it. Whoops, I looked up. I lost my place. Okay, so one last time. So here we go. Finding the E flat. Keeping it slow for just a minute. Ready, and 1, 2. Okay, it's hard to play like this, but I'm trying to show you my fingers. All right, so now let's play it with a little bit more tempo. And we're going all the way through to the bottom. Find the E flat. Dum bum ba 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 bum. Ready, ready, play. Okay, let's find it again. Ready, ready, play. Okay, all right, let's add the notes that come before it. So now we're going to back up to one measure before that, okay? So I'm just helping to set the building blocks for this section. So I know we want to go faster, but we cannot go faster until we have the building blocks of this line, and make sure that all the fingerings are totally worked out, that we're comfortable with everything. So if you need to pause here and work any of those out, by all means do that, and then hit play again. Okay, so we're going to start here. We're going to start in this measure right before we get into E. We're going to start on this pickup note to this measure. So A, B flat, A, and I'm already in third position. Okay, so my 1 is on the A, and then I shift up here. So let's get into that. So it looks like this, right? So all those notes touch. You have A, B flat, A. Then B flat, C flat, which is basically just B. So B flat, B. Don't let it confuse you. They all touch. So don't move your hand at all right here. Or, okay? And then you're going to shift up to that same place where the 1 is on the D flat, the 2 is on the E flat. So it looks like this. And you're ready to go. Okay, so let's put that into a tempo, a little bit slow. Ready, ready, go. Okay, and notice that before the big shift to the E flat, right before E, I stopped the bow a little bit, and I would definitely do that if I were you, and no one's ever going to hear that. You can hear it right now while I'm going slowly, but when you're doing it fast, you'll never hear it. But you've got to cut it off somewhere and move your hand. So one more time like that. Here we go. Find your A. Ready, ready, and go. Now let's start to add some actual tempo to this. So work on that, and now we'll add the tempo. One last note that I just thought also, when you are playing this, whether you're playing slow or just figuring it out, make sure you're playing it with a really strong bow every single time. Because this is a scary section where we would all sort of want to back off with the bow and play in a very scared way. We don't want anybody to hear us, and we think, well, we'll play out when we've got it. But the problem is that we're practicing playing it really small and scared and timid. And so then when we need to play it with some courage, we can't because we haven't practiced it that way. So even while working these notes out and it's scary and we're fumbling and the notes aren't fully there, still try to play, charge through with the bow and try to play with a full sound. So that as you are building the blocks of this section and you're getting better at this run, you're building that courage and your bow becomes very used to charging through these notes, okay? I promise you it works. It doesn't work the other way around. You can't just sort of pop it in at the end. It won't work. Okay, so, and this is a scary section. Okay, let's add some tempo. This is 55. Now we're really gonna drill, okay? So starting on measure 116, the pickup note to it, A, B flat, A, okay? Ready, 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 and go. Again, ready, ready, and go. Okay, let's go faster. Here's 65. Same spot. Ready, and go. Again, ready, and go. Okay, you can stay at that speed if you want. Okay, here's 75. Ready, ready, and go. Good, let's try it again. Ready, ready, and go. Okay, that's harder. It's definitely starting to get a little bit harder. One more time, 75. Ready, ready, and go. Okay, let's go faster. If you want to stay there, grab your metronome and do it at 75 as many times as you want. Okay, and when you're ready, then hit play again and we'll do it a little faster. Let's go to 85. Bum bum, dee da 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 da, tika 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 tika. And dun 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 dun, bum bum bum. Okay, here we go. Ready, ready, and go. Okay, here we go. That was fast. Notice where I am in the bow. And I've been in this part of the bow the whole time. It's hard to show this on video. Okay. I'm about here. So the longer notes, I might go a little bit farther. in those first few notes before the actual 16th note run starts happening. But once I hit those 16th notes, I'm about right here, and the bow's probably about this big, okay? I highly recommend that you try to stay in this area, okay? At all times, even when it's slow. So here we go. 85. Okay, ready, ready, and go. Okay, again, ready, ready, and go. Okay, so definitely stop there, work on that, and you could absolutely do something like little pieces. Maybe you go from, right? You could just start there. And even if you did it before at a slower tempo, you might need to do that again at a faster tempo. Just build that again. Get your fingers moving that quickly. Then back it up a little bit. You know, if you did back it up just 4 notes. So it wouldn't hurt to start there, which is just 1 beat before. The second measure of E, basically. Okay, and then you can back it up further and sort of work it in pieces if you'd like to, at any tempo that's giving you a hard time, until you can play the whole thing at that speed. So after you've done that, then we can keep going. One more time at this speed, 85. Ready, ready, and go. Okay, and let's just click it up a little further. Here's 95. Dun, 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 dun. Everything gets very small here. Everything gets really short, really small. Don't hold on to anything. Nothing is long. Anything that felt long before isn't long now. Okay, super, super small. Ready? Okay, ready, ready, and go. So, some of those notes didn't come out clear, but I kept going anyway. I still kept it moving, and that's how you want to practice this. Some of it won't work, but try to practice getting through it, because it's highly likely that when you play this in class, that's going to happen. You're going to miss a note here or there. But if you've practiced moving through that, and you know, whatever, you make a flub on a couple of notes, but you just move on and you know how to keep going, you might get to the end. And nobody will really notice what happened in the middle, so long as you keep going. So the more you do that, the more notes you'll get too. Eventually you'll almost get all the notes. Ready? Ready, ready, and go. Okay. And last one, so stay there and work on that as much as you want. I'll take it a little further for you. Let's try 105, even though it's a lot faster than this. Okay. Dun 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 bum 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 dee dee da dee da 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 dum. Ready? Ready, and go. Really short now. Again. Ready, ready, and go. Okay. So that's pretty quick. That's 105. It's faster than that. I think it's closer to 120. But work on that. See how that goes, and then maybe we can do some more accelerations to the end. So let's take it let's keep going through E. I want to check my time. Actually, we went through E a lot. I wanted to go to let's go to the top of page 6, okay? I know that was one that there was a question about. So the top of page 6, hopefully you've had a chance to work on the fingering that we talked about. Okay, I'm not sure why you didn't have the fingering. I thought I gave it to you, but there must have been a miscommunication somehow. But already being in position here, and then you jump up to this note. Yeah, and so you're really going to the same place in this high shift right here. It's certainly high. You're definitely going to have to jump. You're going up to the same note that we just went up to. That is a G. And your 1 is going to go to D. So we have D, E, F, G. In this case, it's D, E flat, F natural, G. So the 1 and 2 touch, okay? But it's really common for us to go to the D and then find that G, okay? I think we worked on that together. So it's close to where you were before. It was just that before you were on D flat and going to G flat. So it's the same place, just a half step higher. Okay, so here we go. So I would practice this without the doubles, just for the sake of giving your bow arm a break. Okay. So let's back it down a little bit. We're going to start at 75, okay? Because I think you've been working on this, and let's see if we can just get a little faster before I have to turn this video off. 75. So we're going to start in measure. So right after the largo at O. Top of page 6, the very first measure. So that's measure 361. Okay, 75. And if we do singles, start up bow. Okay, when we do singles, start up bow. When you do doubles, you start down bow. Okay, we just, that helps keep the bow orderly, okay? So you're going to start on E flat. I'll do it once without that. Here we go. And remember that when you come up here, the fingering is the same. The fingering is the same on both strings. So it's 1 and 2 touch, and then 3 and 4, it's a whole step. They're tiny, but they're whole steps. So when you come up to the E string, it's G, F, E flat, D, C, B flat, A flat, G. And you can play that like a scale as much as you want to. So you could start on that G right there. Again. Right, so drilling around, just being there and sort of getting used to that will help. Okay, so let's start it now at 75. Okay, I'm going to start up bow, singles. I'll say ready and go. Okay, ready and go. We're gonna go a little quicker. Let's go to 90. Da, ba, 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 ba. Okay. That fast, okay? Ready, ready, and go. Okay? Ready, ready, and go. So I don't know if you are noticing, but I'm sort of not looking at the music at this point. And if you drill this enough, you'll memorize these pieces, and then you can just look at your fingers. And I know that sounds crazy, like why would you want to memorize this? And you don't have to memorize the whole thing, but some of these really ridiculous runs that are so hard, you have to drill it so many times to get your fingers to do it for you that you just kind of do. And if you can look at your fingers, then you should. You know, as soon as you can stop looking at it and just look over here, by all means, do that. I don't have the whole section memorized, but I've got that one run. Okay. Let's go faster. Here's 105. Da, da, ba, 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 ba. Okay, ready? Ready? Ready, and go. Okay, again, ready, ready, and go. My fingers got tangled. Let's try it doubles at this speed. So now we'll start down bow. It would look like this. Ready, and go. Okay, ready, 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 and go. Okay, again, ready, ready, and go. Good. Okay, so you could stay there. So that was 105. And again, notice that I made some mistakes, but I kept going. So try to do that in your practice. It's really hard not to stop, but just sort of force yourself to keep going. My teacher would make me drill a run so many times, like let's say 10 times. And every time I stopped, she'd make me go back to the beginning. So let's say I had 7 of them, but I stopped in the 8th when I had to go back to 1. And that really motivates you not to stop. So even if it was a mistake, it didn't matter. You just keep going. And you know what? It's effective. It really does work. Let's add this. Let me just look. So the next line, 366, is not as bad. The next one is hard. So 373. So the third line on page 6. Okay, so it starts off the same. This third line, starting in measure 373, you've got your 1 on the E flat, and I believe that the paper said before to start in first position. I wouldn't really recommend that, so I would start the same way you started the first line. So put your first finger on E flat. By this point, you're probably pretty good at finding that. And the fingering starts off the same, so everything is the same. The only difference is creeping up here with that 2, 2, okay? 2, 2, and then finding these notes and then coming back down to third position here. Then you stay in third position. So, and the flats are what you're having to look out for a little bit. So let's just try that slowly one time. So there's my E flat. So instead of putting a 3 here before like we did, the flat 3, I just slid up with my 2, just a half of a step, okay? Now I can reach the rest of those notes that are up there. So it's a whole step. Oops, I messed that up, hold on. So your 2 has come to D flat. That's where we slid up to. So when you did 2, your 2 was on D flat because that's what it said. You needed to go to D flat. Then you have E flat, F, back to E flat, and then it says D natural. So now you've got to put your 2 on D natural. Okay? And your 1, go ahead and let it come up also. So then you'll have C, D, C. Okay? And then we're going to slide back down to 3rd position, but it's flat 3rd position again. So your 1 is on that flat, A flat, 2's on B flat is what ends up happening. So one more time. Okay, so work on that, and I'll drill it for you just a little bit right now. Let's add a tempo. So we got it up to 105 before. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so single, starting up bow, ready and go. Okay, again, ready and go. Okay, do that as many times as you want. Let's go up a little more. Here's 90. Ready, ready and go. Okay, ready, ready and go. Okay, stay there if you want to. That was 90. Here's 105. You could also do doubles at 90. Bum, 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 bum. Ready, 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 and go. Okay. Ready, ready, and go. Okay, let's do the same thing in doubles. Ready? So we'll start down bow. It would sound like this. Ready and go. Okay? Ready? Ready and go. Okay. All right, hopefully that gets you pretty far, and you can do that same process with the other lines as well. And then eventually be able to do all 4 of those lines at the top of page 6 like that, and maybe then go faster because it is faster than 105, but that's all the time I have to do on this video today. So I hope that that helps. I think probably a section we should work on would be page 5. There's a lot going on there. It's fast, it's hard. So maybe we could work on that next time, or more of this if you like. Okay? All right. Good luck.